So I wanted to create a demo box or container for people to see all the ways in which a hummingbird can be used. And so this is just my Hummingbird Demo Box, in which I've got all the sensors. I got 4 down here and the distance up here. I have the gear motor, servo motor, vibration motors down here, the tri-LEDs and single LEDs over here. And so then what these do, it tells people what they can press. So I've created a scratch program here, which I know you can't see very well in the video, but I've got all the different things coded to give them an idea of what could be. So let's dive into some of these and just kind of see what happens. And so the first is, if we start with the single LEDs over here, we've got where we can press up and down and left and right to light them up. And then we can also go here and use the WSD and A, which are the keyboard pads for the same things, to increase the intensity of the light. So it should see a little bit brighter as we press those keys. And that just gives them a sense of how to use all the LED lights to power, and then the space bar clears it. We got the same thing over here for the tri-LEDs. So we can hit T, this turns that one on, Y turns this one on, and if we want, we can hit R, which is going to ping the tri-LED and a single LED over here. So we can start to see just some basic different coding operations in terms of what we can do with the lights. Once we have that kind of figured out, then we can do some other things here. And so if we did the distance sensor, I don't think this will detect at this point.
Where are you?
But it's asking, where are you?
Where are you?
And if we get close,
You have been detected.
it's a detected sensor. So you can see that it lights up. As we go to run
Where
this,
are you? You have been detected.
and it spins the vibration motor eye down there. And so with that, we have that sensor, and then down here we have the vibration motor one. So if we hit V, this will turn the LED lights on. You can see it's going to turn the eyes on and off. I think it does it 4 or 5 times, and then triggers the LED lights along with that. We've got another code that we can use. If we hit C, and this is going to have it speak.
I love coffee.
And just once again showing some different things here, just showing that I love coffee. It makes me excited and happy with the LED lights lighting up. We also then have the servo motor, and I'll eventually have these degrees. I don't have them labeled yet, but I'll have 0, 45, 90, 135, and 180. And on here, if we do the P, it's going to go through and do it in 3-second intervals. And so it's at 0 now, then it's going to go to 45, then 90, 135, and then 180. And so this, I'll have a popsicle stick eventually labeled on. I'm building out an arrow on it for it right now, and then I'll have those degrees mentioned so people can kind of use that as a reference point when they're doing some work. We also have the sound sensor over here, which is the L.
Please turn it down.
And so when it picks up noise like I'm doing now, it's going to ask you to turn it down and be quiet. And so as we think about that, I have it set to a low threshold, and we can adjust that depending on the room that I'm in when I'm going to use it. We have a temperature sensor as well, and so if I hit the O button, this is, I forget what I have this set at, and if we get this within a hot temperature, it'll start to say that it's too hot, and it'll warm up here, but I'm not sure exactly where I have this at. Let's take a look. So if it's greater than 30 degrees Celsius, so that's going to be pretty hot. So I don't know if I can get this to trigger. I might have to change this down.
It is lower.
Oh, there it is.
It is lower. It is lower.
So it's saying it's warm. I know it's a little hard
It
to
is
see.
lower. It is lower.
And now if I let go, it goes away. So that friction just creates some heat there. We have the light sensor. So U for the light. And with this, it's going to see that detection. And then when it's bright, so when it's underneath the threshold, I have this one when it's underneath threshold, it's going to turn the light on kind of like a night light. But if it's nice and bright, it turns it off. You see that? And then it lights up. So people can see those degrees there as well. And then finally, the last one I think we haven't done is just the regular gearbox. And so if we hit M there, I have it moving in 25, 50, 75, 100 degree power, and then a negative. So you can see that the negative power goes the opposite direction. So there's 75, and there's 100, and then negative. And so the last thing that we have, I don't think, oh, we didn't do the rotary sensor. One more. And so if we have B to control the LED, so I hit B, here are my LED lights, and then I can actually control these lights with the rotary sensor. And so I have a program that's changing these increments as we go through. And then I have another one in which I can, let me turn these lights off so it doesn't blind you, where I can control the servo motor with the rotary sensor. So if I hit N here, I can turn this dial and it's going to do a calculation and move this accordingly. So the potentiometer reads on a scale of 0 to 100. So by just doing multiplication of 1.8, I can then determine the degree from 0 to 180 out of the servo motor so that we can control this back and forth. So this just kind of gives everybody an idea of the possibilities of what could be using the Hummingbird robotic kit. I hope you found this helpful. And once again, it's just an idea to get people started, to kind of see what they can do. It's what I use in my workshops, what I'm going to use, so they have it as a reference tool. And then from there, we can take it to the next level. All right, guys, as always, stay awesome.